Hello students, you are welcome back to class. Today we will be looking at Pythagoras rule. Pythagoras rule. Pythagoras rule is used to solve triangles, a right angle triangle. Any triangle that has a right angle. This angle is same thing as 90 degrees. So any triangle that has a right angle is known as a right angle triangle. And you can only use Pythagoras rule to solve right angle triangle. Then what is Pythagoras rule? It says that the square of the hypotenuse should be equal to the addition of the squares of the other two sides. Now, whenever you see a right angle triangle, you need to identify the hypotenuse. How are you going to identify the hypotenuse? The hypotenuse is a line facing the right angle. The hypotenuse is a line facing the right angle. In this triangle, you can see that this is a right angle. So this is the right angle here. So the line that is facing this right angle is, you can see this line. So this one now makes this a right angle hypotenuse. It did the line facing the right angle. So this right angle. So the line facing this angle is what? This A. So line A. So this one is known as the hypotenuse. So the Pythagoras rule says that the square of the hypotenuse, if we find A represent the hypotenuse, B and C represent the other two sides. If we find the square of the hypotenuse should be equal to the square of this, or addition of the squares of this other two sides should be equal to B square plus C square. So A square should be equal to B square plus C square. Now let's look at other examples. Now if you look at this particular triangle here, first of all, for you to use the Pythagoras rule, you must be able to identify the right angle. So this is right angle here. Then the line that is facing this right angle here is what? X. Then so that means this X is the hypotenuse. So to find the hypotenuse here, that would be what? X square should be equal to the squares of the other two, addition of the squares of the other two sides. So that means what? Y square plus Z square. So the hypotenuse square, so this X square should be equal to Y square plus Z square. If you have this also to be a right angle triangle, so the line facing this right angle is what? This U. So that means this hypotenuse, U square should now be equal to the squares of these other two sides, V square plus W square. So whenever you are to use Pythagoras rule, you must learn to identify the hypotenuse. The moment you identify the hypotenuse, then you should be able to solve. Now let's look at this question. Find the lettered sides. Now this is a right angle triangle. You are told that this side is 6 cm and this side is 8 cm. Then you should look for this side X. Now since this is a right angle triangle, so first of all you will identify which side is the hypotenuse. So this side, you can see the right angle here is for this angle. So the line that is facing this angle is for this side, which is X. So that means you now say what? X square should be equal to the squares of this other two sides. That is 6 square plus 8 square. So that means we having X square should be equal to 6 square is equal to 6 square is 36 times 6 36. 8 times 8 is what? 64. So 36 plus 64 will give you 100. So your X square should be equal to 100. Since your X square is equal to 100, so to now look for X, bring this square to find the square root of this other side. So this square, whenever square crosses equality sign, it will now turn to a square root. You now use this square to find the square root of this other side. You are bringing it, so this square will now cross the equality sign to become square root. So now find the square root of 100. The square root of 100 is what? 10. So that means the hypotenuse in this triangle is now what? 10 centimeter. Now let's do another example. If you are having this to be a right angled triangle, so first of all you must learn to identify the hypotenuse. So how will you identify the hypotenuse? Identify the right angle. This is the right angle. So the line that is facing the right angle is this 15. So that means it will be what? This the hypotenuse is 15. So the law says that the square of the hypotenuse, that is 15 square, should be equal to the squares of the other, addition of the squares of the other two sides. So that means you have your 9 square plus this y square. So you are told to look for the value of y. So now 15 square is equal to 225, is equal to 9 square is 81 plus y square. So 285, this is plus 81 here. Whenever plus crosses equality sign, it will turn to minus 81. So 225 minus 81 should be equal to y square. Now 285 minus 81 is what? 144, is equal to y square. So to get y, you now use, so you say this same thing I'm saying, y square is equal to 144. So to get y, you bring this square to this other side. Whenever square crosses equality sign, now turn to what? Square root. So you now find the square root of 144. So the square root of 144 will give you 12 centimeter. So the value for y here will now be 12 centimeter. Now let's do another example. Now if you have this to be a right angle triangle, so the line that is you first of all identify the right angle. This is right angle. So the line that is facing the right angle here is what? The hypotenuse. So the square of this hypotenuse will be equal to the addition of the squares of the other two sides. So that means here the right angle, the hypotenuse here is what? 20. 20 square should be equal to 16 square plus b square. So our 20 square is equal to 400. 16 square, 16 times 16 will give us 256 plus b square. So when you make 256 cross the equality sign to come here, we should now turn to minus 256. So that means we'll be having 400 minus 256 is equal to b square. So now 400 minus 256 is equal to 144. So 144 is equal to b square. So your b square is now same thing as saying 144. To now remove this square, you now make this square cross the equality sign to come. It will now turn to square root this side. So to remove the square, you now bring it to this other side. It will cross the equality sign to become square root. So that means you find the square root of 144. So the value for the b will be what? Square root of 144 will be 12. So that means the value for side b is what? 12 centimeter. For the work practice, you are going to do this. For the work practice. Find the left-hand side. So in this right angle triangle, this is 17 centimeter, 15 centimeter. Find the side A. In this right angle triangle, this is 24 centimeter, this is 11 centimeter. Find the side B. In this right angle triangle, so this side is C, this is 13 meters, this is 7 meters. In this one, we are having what? 12 centimeter, this is D, and this is 15 centimeter. Right angle triangle, you are having this side is 5 centimeter, this is 13, and this is E. Please ensure you like, subscribe, and comment on this video. Thank you.